What is up, you guys? BJ Kicks here, and you're watching The Hangout. This is my semi weekly live stream where we just talk about comics. Sometimes we have an agenda, sometimes, like tonight, we don't necessarily have an agenda, and it's just my chance to catch up with you, the viewer, the audience. So if you're here, go ahead and say what's up in the chat so I know I'm not talking to myself. What's up, Mary? Mary's here. Um, but yeah, so this is the hangout. We're doing this a little bit later than usual. This is usually Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. As you can see, it is 8:02 p.m. Eastern. Because life is busy. Life is so busy. I haven't decided yet. I don't know if I'm gonna try to keep 7 o'clock as the show time or move the hangout and make it like a little bit of a later thing. We'll see. We'll see. But tonight we're gonna be I'll probably be here about an hour. And this is just, time to talk. Time to talk. Jello. What's up, Rupert? Later, it's 1 a.m. BST. Is that Britain Standard Time? British Summertime. Sheesh, 1 a.m. Why are you up, man? Why are you up? Please don't let me deprive you of sleep. I appreciate you stopping in, though, Partworks. Partworks, he collects the Eagle Moss and the Hatchet books. I think Eagle Moss went out of business, and so they kind of just stopped. But I love seeing him post his collection. Those are all the books for us U.S. natives. Those are the books that have like the connecting spines that always form like these dope images. We don't have anything like that in the States. I wish we did. But yeah. Part works the late shift. Gotcha. BJ's here. How are you all? I'm doing well. I can't speak for the rest of the chat. How are you guys doing? You trucking nerds here. What's up, Shannon? I love you trucking nerds logo. Shannon, when are you gonna get back to content? I feel like obviously this could be an online or an offline conversation, but I feel like there was a uniqueness to you that you were attributing to your former profession that YouTube is missing. And it wasn't you being on the road that made your channel special. It was you. So if you enjoy making content, I'd love to see it. There's your encouragement for the day. Kevin, what's up, dude? What's up? What's up? Not a whole lot is up on my end. Actually, I'm lying. There's a whole lot up on my end. My day job is super busy. Um, I'm basically like the subject matter expert for this new software we just deployed internally. And all week has been me putting out fires. We went live last Friday, and I thought, Friday and Monday would be, the busy days. But no, it's like every day there's another small fire that leads to another small fire that leads to a huge fire. And I am the only fireman, it seems. So it's been kind of chaotic. I was planning for this being a slow week, and it's not. So yeah, man, we shall see. I'm looking forward to it. Why DC released too many manual this week? I am not sure what you mean by that. By too many manual, I'll look and see what DC did release this week. How about that? Too many annuals this week. Annuals. I think it's good that the annuals came out this week because this was a light week for the regular books because we had a rare fifth Wednesday. So I think if an annual is going to come out, it should come out on a fifth Wednesday because you're not going to be trying to decide between the annual and your favorite book. So I like the annuals coming out today. John, that's my real name, Smith. What's up, Kicks? What's up, John? And Kyle's here. What's up, Kyle? Kyle joined me over on the other channel. He posted up in the comments on the sneaker channel that I started a little while ago. Should I have started another channel? This probably wasn't the time to start another channel. I'm not crazy consistent over there, but yeah, I started a channel to talk about sneakers because I enjoy that, and I tried doing it on this channel, and y'all like tried to stone me in the comment section. So there's a sneaker channel now. And I did like one video that's kind of like blowing up at the moment, and it's bringing a lot of subscribers, but I don't anticipate the channel keeping that sort of momentum. It's really supposed to be like a side project that I get to when I have time for it. Mentor Prizes is here. What's up? What's up? John, that's my real name. Smith is spoiling X-Men 14. I haven't quite read it yet. I haven't picked up my books for this week yet because I've been just so busy with my day job. But if that spoiler thing did happen, which of course I assume it did, I mean, I think that just speaks to the character of Cyclops, right? Without any context, without reading it, because I'm like 2 issues behind on the Judgment Day event. I think that just shows you're good, John. You're good. I think that just shows why Cyclops is a force to be reckoned with, and that's what I was telling you guys on the when I did What I'm Getting, that this X-Men run during the Hickman era, but especially post the Hickman Krakoa era, has really kind of focused in on the burden of leadership that Cyclops carries and how he has to arrive at different decisions for the betterment of his team, but also mutant kind. And I think it's dope. I think stories like this are what help to put respect on Cyclops' name, because Wolverine's always gonna, I mean, I know the comparison's always Wolverine, doesn't have to be, but I mean, Wolverine's always gonna like go in and slash stuff up. Wolverine's like Raphael, but this is the book, or Cyclops is the one that kind of makes you think like, yo, like there's a lot that goes into these decisions, and you start to understand why he's in charge and not the quote unquote cool one that you love so much, because that approach might not get you where you need to go. So I enjoy that about Cyclops. I respect Cyclops, even though he's not my favorite. He's up there. He's probably like top 3, top 4 my favorite mutants at this point. Part Work says, not much in the way of actual comics at York Unleashed last week. A lot of toy vendors, a lot of cosplay, made a friend on the train down, hung out a lot of the day, traveled back together and swapped socials. Hey, that's what it's about, man. Conventions, yes, even though a lot of them are like, you know, less and less about comics every year, they're about the community. Like, where else are you going to meet people that love superheroes and some of these other things as much as you do? For me, that's like my local comic shop. But even then, like, it's the vendor, it's the clerks that I'm talking to. It's not really the other shoppers very often. So what I loved about going to Heroes Con was being able to show or to see the people who were like crowding to like the same creators or the same tables that I was, and you see people that you have something in common with. It's better than going to a bar and being like, yo, what's up, you know. So I enjoy the convention circuit for that reason, and I don't plan to go to a ton of cons every year, but I do want to at least make Heroes Con an annual trip, because that was really fun. Thought Bubble in November should be a lot more comic focused. Word. Hope so. Kev said, picked up those Milestones books that you showed to the K Squad that were on eBay. Thanks for the heads up. Just need number 4 and number 6 now. What was that? Was that the Heroes set? If you are part of the K Squad on Discord, I love Discord, and it's funny because I didn't love Discord always, but I enjoy Discord because it allows you to sort of organize conversations. So I'm actually going to share my screen so you guys can see. This is a big old commercial for the K Squad. You've been warned. But this is Discord. This is I don't know what this page is, but if I go down to the K Squad, you can see other groups that I'm in. If I go here, there's different channels on this left-hand sidebar. Let me make sure this is sharing. Okay, cool. So here we've got like a general tab so people can just talk. Sometimes they post their recent pickups for New Comic Book Day and stuff like that. Oh, I'm in the recent pickups tab. That's why it's there. If I go to the general tab, it's just general conversation. People asking questions about manga and so on. I've got a tab where you can see all the latest videos that I post. I've also got a tab where people can post their own videos. And then on the Comic Talk, we got industry news, where I've got a bot that actually scrubs for industry news so that you can read it, react to it. Comic reviews, these are people in the squad posting reviews of comics that they've read recently. Collected editions, a lot of times we just talk about news and what books are coming out, which ones we're excited about. I'm not going to go over every single channel, but we also have channels dedicated to certain fandoms. So people begged for a Milestone chat, and so we've got now a Milestone group or channel inside the Discord, and then we've also got one for Star Wars as well. So I like Discord because we can have these separate, focused conversations as opposed to someone just posting something and waiting for a bunch of comments. It's like a bunch of conversations happening in real time, and they're only as unfocused or unorganized as your server is. But we got a sports channel, a health channel. So what happens is you come to the group because you're into comics, but then you start talking about other things with people who are also comics fans. So it's like you could be reading an issue of Firepower, see a pair of sneakers, jump into the sneaker chat in the K Squad and be like, yo, I love these sneakers that I saw in this book. And people get it because they're also comics fans. So I think that's really cool. I think communities like this, it's kind of the closest thing you're going to get to what we were just talking about, like meeting people at conventions, meeting like-minded people. So if you have not joined the K Squad on Facebook and or Discord, then do so. Do so. And the links are in the description below. I like the Discord because it's a little bit easier to keep track of what's what. But the Facebook group, we have way more members in there, and I love everyone there as well. So the World Needs Heroes set. Cool. I'm glad I could help you out with that because the World Needs Heroes was a hard set for me to complete. I think I bought 1 through 5 at one time. No, I didn't. I bought my hero set in like 3 different transactions. And I definitely paid more than you paid, Kevin. So hopefully you get the other ones relatively quickly. Jay says, I still have all the original 250 plus Milestone Media comics from the 90s. Look, I'm going to show you something that I probably shouldn't show you because it's spoiling a video that's coming out tomorrow. But I'm going to do it anyway. Or maybe I'm not because I don't remember where I put it. What did I do with the... That's unfortunate. Hold on. Well, the short version is I bought a couple of books like last week from a homie on Facebook, and they came in the mail. Well, they came in the mail a few days ago, but I just opened them last night when I shot a video. And I see them. They're over there on that stack. I'm not going to grab it. Well, actually, you know what? I know where I can show you because I posted a picture here. So I bought this book. This is Static Shock, The Rebirth of the Cool, issue number 3. And the significance of this book is it was the last book I needed to say that I have a full run of all of the original Milestone Media titles. So Static, Hardware, Icon, Blood Syndicate, all the miniseries, all the crossover events. And the last thing I needed was this Rebirth of the Cool, which technically isn't part of the original publishing run. Well, I guess technically it is, right? I wanted everything with this old Milestone logo on it. So outside of like trade paperbacks that were really just recollecting some of these stories and special variant books, I've got everything that I wanted to have, and I'm excited about that. So Next up in my milestone collecting would be, if I choose to go that route, there are platinum variants for like most of the number one issues. Actually, not most of the number ones. I think just Hardware and Static got platinum variants. And then there are some promotional items, like DC used to do these previews of books, and they're kind of oversized. I saw one in person for the first time at Heroes Con, and that made me want them. So there's a Static preview. I know there's a Blood Syndicate preview. There are previews for the Shadow War crossover. Those books are a little bit more rare. There is an issue of previews, like the Diamond publication previews, that have like a teaser of the first Milestone stuff in it. Like you can go super hardcore collecting Milestone things, and that's kind of all I've got left to collect are the super hardcore things. So I am not in a hurry to get any of those items, but yeah, eventually I'm gonna get that itch and I'm gonna start tracking some of those things down. But for now, I'm very proud just saying, hey, I've got this full run that I've been tracking down for 2 years. I finally have them all. Thanks, Dominic. Dominic says, congrats. Kyle says, Rebirth of the Cool, does it have the original Milestone team on it? Yes. Rebirth of the Cool was a 4-issue miniseries that came out in 2001 to coincide with all the hype for the Static Shock animated series. So they released Static Shock Rebirth of the Cool, which is written by Dwayne McDuffie with art by John Paul Leon. So they are the original, creative team on Static. And it's a story set sometime after the events of like Static 45. Virgil has quit superhero-dom, if you want to call it that. And there is something going on that requires him to, suit up again and help. And it's great. It's really great. So, no, I do not have the Brave and the Bold, Justice League, and Teen Titans of Milestone characters in the 2000s. Those I do not consider to be a part of the original Milestone run, because those are pretty much just straight up DC books. So I don't have, there are a lot of Teen Titans issues that have appearances from Static. I do have the Justice League run by Dwayne McDuffie, where he does reintroduce the Shadow Cabinet into the DC universe. I have those in hardcover, not the single issues. But what I am missing altogether is that Brave and the Bold series that saw Static team up with Black Lightning, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember who teamed up with whom, but that Brave and the Bold is available in a trade paperback for not too bad of a price. I think it's like you can get it for less than $15 on eBay, so I'm probably going to go ahead and grab that. And then those Teen Titans issues, I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to grab those or not. I think it's interesting that Static finds his place onto the Teen Titans team, but yeah, I'll probably will go after those at some point. I mean, I've got the Justice League. I'm gonna get the Brave and the Bold, so I might as well grab those Teen Titans issues as well. But those weren't like super high on my priority list. Rebirth of the Cool probably cost the most in the Static line. Absolutely it did. And that's why it took me so long to piece it together, because I bought each issue one at a time. I think I bought issues 2 and 4 together on eBay, and I got a decent price on those. I bought issue 1 on a live show from Ultimate Comics over a year ago, and I want to say I paid either $80 or $100 for it at that time, and then maybe it was $60. I can't see myself paying $100 at that time, so I probably wasn't $100. It might have been $60. But yeah, I bought that, and then all I was missing was issue 3. But for a long time, I could not find issue 3 at a good price. You typically saw it go for between like 50 and like almost up to 100, and I just wasn't prepared to pay it at the times when I saw it. But my man Nick came through in a Facebook group with a good deal. I paid about $40, I think, and he threw in some extras, so it worked out. Is there a date for the second Milestone Compendium? Yes. Let me double check that date though. Um, but the answer is yes. There is a date. I want to say it's the first week of February, 2023. If it didn't get pushed back any further, let's see. Oh, this is my child's daycare telling us that daycare is closed on Monday for the holiday, which I knew that, but on sale, new to old. I'm looking at the Penguin Random House website right now. Whoops, I don't wanna, there we go. And I'm looking to see when Milestone Compendium 2 is coming out. The Duo hardcover comes out in April 2023. That's a must grab for me at this point. I've read the first 4 issues of Duo and I love it. It's one of my favorite books on shelves. Same with Blood Syndicate, that comes out in April. But anyway, let's keep scrolling. Boom, there we go. Milestone Compendium, Volume 2, January 31st, 2023. This is my omnibus wish list, by the way, or my collected editions wish list. As they add things to the catalog, I go through and I put a heart beside them on the Penguin Random House site, and that's how I know what I'm getting. They're finally releasing the DC Universe by Dwayne McDuffie, February 2023. This book was supposed to come out late last year, if I remember correctly, maybe February of this year. So hopefully this actually does come out. Collecting his Action Comic stuff. I'm assuming it'll collect, select stuff from his Justice League run. I wonder if it says what it collects, actually. Let's click here. All right. Action Comics 847, The Demon 26 to 29, Impulse 60, the JLA Showcase 80-page giant Batman Gotham Knights 27, which, if I'm not mistaken, that is where he and Dennis Cowan do a Batman story for Batman Black and White, which is great stuff. Sins of Youth, Kid Flash, Impulse #1, and Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, 33 through 35. So actually a lot of this is stuff that I have not read. So that's exciting. That's really exciting. So yeah, seems like they're really trying to capitalize on that whole Black History Month thing. Unforgettable story starring DC's greatest superheroes, written by Dwayne McDuffie, the co-creator of the Emmy Award-winning television series Static Shock and Milestone Media. All right, so that's cool. Let's see. No one is taking pre-orders, right, for the compendium. They might be, actually. Let's check OPB. Typically, you don't see pre-orders until the books hit like the solicitation officially. So that would be like 3 to 4 months ahead of time. But let's just look and see. Yeah, there's nobody that's going to be taking pre-orders for that book just yet. So yeah, Carson, January 31st is the date, and there's not anywhere you can pre-order it yet. Have we talked about the Milestone Generations doc? Amazing stuff there. Learned a lot. We did talk about it a little bit 2 weeks ago on the last Hangout. I don't mind repeating my thoughts. Um, I think a lot of you that are watching now were watching then, but hey, it's fine with me. I thought it was a good documentary. I felt like an hour wasn't long enough to tell the story of Milestone, but I think my gripes with this doc, um, are with the scope. And I think as someone who's such a fan of the original Milestone, I think what my heart wants for a Milestone documentary is like a no holds barred, complete retelling of 1992, maybe even 1990, all the way to 97. And that's where the documentary can stop for me. But where most Milestone documentaries go is 90 to 97, skip to 2011 when Dwayne McDuffie dies, and then there's hope for the future, right? And now, Milestone's back in publishing, so any story of Milestone, like the story of Milestone, isn't over. And so any documentary about Milestone is framed with that in mind, that the story of Milestone isn't over, which is true. It's not. Um, and so I don't know. My assumption is that at some point, actually, that's not an assumption I have at all. But, in a perfect world, maybe somebody would release a tell-all book or something, right? Dennis Cowan's not writing a tell-all book about Milestone. And, I don't know that Michael Davis would write a tell-all book either, although Michael Davis definitely has like several blog posts and then like personal videos detailing his side of what all happened, the rise and fall, and so on. But what I would have loved to see in this documentary would be everyone who was involved getting like their proper due. Like someone taking a quick moment to be like, yeah, this person did that, and this person did that, and this person did that. But a lot of times what happens is it's like, hey, Dennis had the idea. Dwayne was this mastermind that made everything happen. And then Dwayne died. And it's like, you can't overstate the greatness of Dwayne McDuffie. Like, by all accounts, he's like one of the smartest men ever in comics. His story is fascinating. He's an enigma. He's like a one of one. But it's also true that a lot of people contributed to make Milestone what it was and what it continues to be. And I think because so much of the mystique that was Milestone of old became tied up in Dwayne McDuffie's legacy, then it's perceived as a slight against Dwayne to showcase what other people brought to the table. And so it's not so much that anyone ever denies what anyone else did, right? Like, but I don't know. I don't know that there's anywhere like for all of the great stuff that we see in the documentaries, there are people who have like, their so-called their slights or whatever. And there's not really slights, there's just like slight corrections that they're like, well, actually this person contributed that, or actually I did this, or actually this person started here or whatever. And it's like for the zeitgeist, it's like, okay, this is all semantics. But for people whose like life's work, Milestone was like the peak of it, it's important to them that the record reflects what their contributions were. So as a fan and a nerd of history, it's important to me that the record, reflects like full accuracy. But like that's just how these things go, right? Like, do we ever get every person's argument represented in the record of anything? Like there's always he said, she said. And unless you're going to give full time to both sides, like, are you really going to get facts? Or somebody's got to settle on what the truth is. And I think for me, going as deep as I've gone in research and finding, information, it's unfortunate to me that like I see people, I feel like I've said too much, but because I don't want to say anything that can't be substantiated, right? But there are people who were there in the original days who believe the record is not accurate or hasn't accurately reflected what their contributions are, right? Like, namely, Ivan Velez, who basically created the Blood Syndicate, or at least a lot of the lore around the Blood Syndicate and the cast of characters and their interactions, because he wrote so much of the book. Michael Davis, who helped, was a co-founder, but then, his claim is that he basically created the static universe after all 5 of the original collaborators created the sort of blueprint for who the character was, right? So, so namely those two are like, look, like the record doesn't really show what I brought to the table, and I don't like that. So I because there's conflicting stuff in the public record, I would love to see like it acknowledged, like, hey, this is what happened, and we're all good, because by all accounts, they're all good. But anyway, those are my thoughts for the second show in a row. And I can get passionate about this topic, but there's no need for me to be ranting on and on. BJ, are you planning on getting the Book of Doom omnibus? The Book of Doom. That is not on my radar. I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan. It's not that I'm like an anti-fan. I'm just not never really read much of the Fantastic Four. So with the Book of Doom, let's see what this collects. Fantastic. Yeah, so there's a lot of like a OG Fantastic Four material. Just a lot of Doom appearances. Yeah, I'm probably not going to grab this. I don't know that it would mean as much to me without reading the Fantastic Four stuff that like, surrounds it. So yeah, I'll probably save the money and the shelf space, especially since the Book of Doom hardcover came out 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I'm definitely not grabbing that because I'm on a budget, man. Like a Bill Finger thing with Batman. It's not quite that egregious. Like Bob Kane just straight up just threw Bill Finger under a bus. That hasn't quite happened, but I think the real issue is that the story of Milestone has been told by so many outside voices that when the inside voices or the insider perspective was given, you just kind of hope that they would debunk all the stuff that was clearly false. And that didn't happen because that wasn't the story they were trying to tell. So that's where I'm at. What's good? Real Dope Comics. What's good, man? Got the Book of Doom a couple weeks back. How do you like it, Enterprises? I agree about the Fantastic Four, but I do understand its importance. Word. The FF book by Alex Ross is gorgeous. Yo, there was somebody in the group that was posting about that. I'm trying to remember if anyone showed like pictures of the interior art. I've seen like pictures here and there of it, and like it's Alex Ross, and when you see Alex Ross's name, you expect that like painted DC superheroes vibe, and that's not what this book is. It's like done in like these flat colors, and it's beautiful. What's it called? Fantastic Four Full Circle? Let's see if I can find like some images, because man, it looks cool. All right, let me share this tab. Tayshawn says me, probably. It probably was you. But like, look at this page with the thing. Like, if I had seen previews of this before the book came out, or like when it was first solicited, I probably would have pre-ordered it just off the strength of the art alone. Because I've never seen Alex Ross do this style. It kind of reminds me of the art in, can we close this thing? Yeah. The art in what is it? The Human Target by Greg Smallwood. but it's not that. I mean, you look at the pencil, you got like these pencil marks. This is just really good art. Yeah, so I'm kind of mad that I don't have this now. And I don't know if they're going to go back to print or what, but I kind of want this book. It looks so good. Let's see. It's a love letter to Kirby art wise. Alex Ross definitely changed his style up for the FF book. Yeah. Yeah. That artwork is super good. I've never I've never I haven't read much Jack Kirby. But that's good to know that that's where it's referenced from, or that's what it's an homage to. Let's see. Yeah, man. I just keep looking at this because it's so good. Let me get this off the screen because I'm gonna be mad. Took myself out of the stream by mistake. All right, there we go. I've been highly interested in the Alex Ross and Paul Deeney DC stories, like War on Crime and Peace on Earths. Yes, yes. Let me show you. So this is The World's Greatest Superheroes by Alex Ross and Paul Deeney. And it's basically a collection of superhero stories. So, like you said, War on Crime, which was the Batman book, Peace on Earth, which was the Superman book. I can't remember the name of the Wonder Woman book, but like, look at that. I read Marvels. Marvels was actually the first Marvel book that I read outside of like Hickman's X-Men or whatever, because I never knew like what to get into. Um, so I read Marvels and loved it. And so then I bought this. And then I bought a couple of Alex Ross art books. I bought Marvelocity, the Alex Ross art book. I need to buy the DC verse. I can't remember what the name of his DC art book that Chip Kidd compiled. But man, I love Alex Ross. When it comes to like artists that are widely associated with DC, for me, it's like Jim Lee and then Alex Ross. Um, I just, they're two very different styles, but styles that I just really enjoy looking at. Mythology is the DC book. Thank you. Thank you, Tyler Smith. But yeah, Alex Ross stuff is really cool to me. Uh, how long has it been out? You're talking about that Fantastic Four book. That Fantastic Four book technically doesn't even come out until the 6th. Um, somebody said they pre-ordered the non-slipcover version. Is that version still available to order anywhere? Because if so, might have to grab that. You know what? Let's go to Amazon. I come dinged up, but hey. Fantastic Four Full Circle. Okay. They've got a hardcover version, and it's only $22.49. Huh. What are the dimensions? 8.5 by 11. So it's like what? Is that deluxe size? That's deluxe sized. Yeah. Yeah. Let me go ahead and order that on Amazon. You should too. I'll put a link in the chat. Hold on. I'll create an affiliate link so that I make 2 cents whenever you buy it. And that'll help me pay for mine. Tayshawn says Heroes had both versions yesterday when I went. Um, Ultimate Power says, I think Alex Ross's realistic style is jarring to look at. I have his name muted on Twitter, so I don't see his art pop up. I like the realistic style. I think it's refreshing to see that. I mean, if you look at my room, all of my posters are like Ken Lashley posters, and Ken Lashley is very much like, in the style of like an image. It's very dynamic, like exciting stuff, right? And that's typically what I like to look at. But Alex Ross is such a contrast to that it kind of draws me in. And I like it. I like it. Rupert says, get one for me too. Gary says, thanks for the link. Yo, no problem. No problem. I'm glad it came through. Because a lot of times YouTube bans links in the comments. Slipcases for those who pre-ordered. I learned from all the Something's Killing the Children and Once and Future drama, which those are behind me. I don't need a slipcase. I'm reading the book. I'm not reading the slipcase. So, yeah. If I was just like super, super into the book, then I would want the slipcase version. But I'm cool without it, man. I'm honestly surprised at that price, though. I thought it was like, I just heard people talking about the fact that they couldn't get it anywhere. And I just assumed it was like a lot more than it was, or going for a lot more than it was. The slipcase edition was $35. Previews exclusive slipcase edition. Oh, the slipcase was limited to 3,000 copies. But all that's different about it is a slipcase? Yeah. Just get the regular edition. Just get the regular edition. I would not miss out on that beautiful artwork just because it doesn't have a slipcase. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and click the pre-order button now because I need that in my life. Wait, it's not on the screen, is it? Okay. I thought I put my credit card number on the screen. Let's see. Place your order. Let me make sure my payment method is right. All right, cool. Yeah, I need that. That's super dope. So mine will be here next week. The Absolute for Alex Ross's Greatest Superheroes out of print. Been wanting it for a while. I have Absolute Kingdom Come. Man, when I first got into comics, my day job was like right around the corner from Atomic Empire. Some of you guys may be familiar with them because they're an online retailer, but they have a brick and mortar shop in Durham, North Carolina. And I would walk in there every day on my lunch break. And like, who goes to the comic shop every day? But I literally did because I hated my job. But anyway, I would walk in there on my lunch break and they had the collected editions were like always like a flat either 20 or 30% off. I can't remember. I think it was 20. And they had that Absolute World's Greatest Superheroes. But this was at the time where I was super new to comics. So I would look at it and see a cover price of like, I think it was $75. And it was just like, who is spending this much on comic books? Joke's on me. Just look at my room. Insane. Let's see. Once and Future, had to get a special edition. Love that book. Damn Mora. Wow. Something's Killing Children. Only have the trade paperbacks so far. Word. Yeah, I got the non-slip case Something's Killing the Children. I bought that from Amazon because I had a gift card from my job. And then months later, they like solicited just a slipcase that you could buy. And so I bought just a slipcase. And so now mine is in a slipcase. The Once and Future, I just happened to walk into Ultimate Comics and they had it sitting there on display. So I bought it right then and there for cover price. I think it was like $60 or 50 bucks, something like that. There's an extended sleeve with a slipcase version with more art. That's a horse of a different color. I'd spend $15 more for that. Just straight up. If you love it, enjoy it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Buy what you like. Read what you buy. So yeah. I'm supposed to be going through some comic news. Is there any comic news that I actually want to read over? DC Comics is not doing fandom this year, which kind of sucks because I was enjoying fandom as an event. Like, just as a DC fan, I thought it was cool to see all the DC news in one place. But hey, it is what it is. Huh. That's interesting. Hold on. Let me open that up. There's a piece of news that just came out 20 minutes or 30 minutes ago. And I'm just going through my Feedly. Feedly is where you can like basically subscribe to a bunch of blogs in one spot and just kind of look through articles then. Or that way. All right. DC Comics signs new deal with, let me paste this into a different tab and so you guys can see it too. All right. So DC Comics signs new deal with Universal Canadian distributor. Universal Distribution is going to become a direct distributor to DC Comics. Previously, it had only been operating as a sub-distributor to Lunar. Beginning in 2020 or October, can place orders with Universal Distribution. Blah, 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 blah. Mostly confined to Canadian comic book stores, as shipping elsewhere would be prohibitive. Okay, that's not as big news as I thought. First of all, when I saw Universal Distribution, I thought it meant like Universal, like the entertainment company, not just a name for a competitor to Lunar and Diamond. So, all right, that's not as big news as I thought. Let's look at the other news. Other news that I was reading. Honestly, not a whole bunch in the headlines that I like really feel the need to talk about. Megan Thee Stallion was apparently on She-Hulk. I'm not watching She-Hulk, so it didn't really mean much to me. The Ringo Awards nominees are out. That's pretty interesting. But we'd have to have a whole different show to talk about the Ringo Awards. So yeah. Let's see. DC Fandom 2020 was hype. 2020 Fandom was cool. That was when they like announced Milestone and brought the Milestone Returns book out. That was interesting. I don't think people buy comics and not read them. Ha! You haven't met a lot of people, have you? I'm joking. Yeah. I buy comics with the full intention of reading them, and I end up with stacks. You see that stack behind my head over there? It gets crazy. But I do like try to read it all eventually. I would say a full 85% of my single issues I've read. It's the collected editions that are like, I haven't touched so much of it. As a matter of fact, it's probably flipped for my collected editions. I might have read 15% of my collected editions. But my single issues, the weekly or the monthly books that I buy, I pretty much read all of them. I might be 2 to 3 weeks behind or 2 to 3 months behind. But yeah, the collected editions I just buy because they're pretty and I want to read them eventually. And I never give myself, I never allow myself to catch up to the stuff, right? Like at this point, it's clearly a retirement plan. Like when I stop working, then I'll start reading more comics. I don't know. My job is like even more demanding now than it's ever been. So it's even harder to read the weekly stuff now. So I've been trimming books off the list so that I can get to them faster. I bought this iPad so I can read stuff digitally. I read Naomi season 2 and it was really, really good. I'm gonna do a video about that. So yeah, that's a thing. And yeah. I got a stack waiting. Spend way more time talking about comics. Yeah, me too. I spend so much more time making videos about comics than I do reading comics. They don't have anything to show at Fandom. They cancel or push back everything. That's true. That's true. My elementary school had a comic book club years back, so I know I have a bunch of old unread single issues. That's dope. I know you don't live far from me. Did you go to elementary school around here? You don't have to like name a city. Like we're not gonna do all that, but I'm just curious to know if that's like a local program. I probably have over 100 I have not read. Yeah. I've definitely got plenty. Like, for example, The Walking Dead Deluxe. I've read not many of those issues at all. And we're up to issue 45. It comes out twice a month. And I've just been collecting it. Now my goal with it is to create like a custom omnibus of The Walking Dead in color, or several volumes of custom omnibus of The Walking Dead in color. But the fact that I haven't read like a single issue of it, it's kind of whack. What else? What else have I just straight up not read? In single issues. There's a lot of stuff I bought on the Ultimate Comics live show in 2020 that I didn't necessarily have an intention of reading. I just bought them because the cover was good, was cool, or it was like a semi-rare book for a good price, or something that I thought I would want to read one day. But that's the issue, right? The majority of my comic book reading is just the monthly periodicals. So, yeah. And everything else is supposed to be for me to go back and do research. Like I read most of Grant Moore or part of Grant Morrison's Batman run, enjoyed it. I read Batman by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, enjoyed that quite a bit. Read Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, loved it. I'm in Volume 2 now. What else have I read? Quite a bit of Captain America by Ed Brubaker, really good. I started Fantastic Four by Hickman, really good. A bunch of those little, like, I got a bunch of DC like trades over there, or like deluxe hardcovers. I read some of The Man of Steel by John Byrne. It was cool. Superman Birthright, I liked. And I read a bunch of Eagle Moss trades. So I liked a lot of that stuff too. But yeah, the collected editions, that's the part that I'm ashamed to admit. Like I have these, dozens of books, and I might have read like 7 of them total. So it's all good. We're getting to it. Cyan, is that how you say that? What's up? Julio says he mostly collects omnis and collected editions, but yeah, so I have like 75% I haven't read. Yeah, first of all, they come out like so often. There's new omnis out every week. Let's see. What's your favorite disgusting cheese sandwich? I don't know if I have a favorite disgusting anything, because it's disgusting. You say it's Sean? Really? That's cool. Yeah, I don't have a favorite disgusting sandwich. I make a mean grilled cheese, and I crust my bread with Parmesan on both sides. I like it a lot. But yeah, I don't have nothing I eat is disgusting. And so yeah. Yo, thanks for joining Afro Sci-Fi. I did not read the Deadpool Samurai manga. I haven't gotten into manga. Friday morning, here I'm hiding from my boss, watching this in the office. Peace and love from Malaysia. Thanks for watching all the way from Malaysia, Farhan. That's really cool. Yo. Julio says, I'm new to your channel, by the way. Just subscribed a couple weeks ago. Thank you. It's always cool to meet new members of the squad. Hope you're enjoying the content. And if you are, join us on the Facebook group or in the Discord server, because I get to meet people in there and it's fun. Anil's here. What's up, Anil? I've seen a lot of names I don't recognize. Julio's here for the first time. Sean's here for the first time. Gary, you've been here before. Grilled cheese and some tomato soup. Yes. Going to be honest, I like Parmesan, but that sounds kind of minging. I think Parmesan is a pasta thing, and that's a hill I will die on. You just haven't had it right, man. You just haven't had it right. So Parmesan. So here's what I do, right? Do the grilled cheese with mayo, not butter, on the bread. Mayo, because I feel like it toasts a little bit better and without making the bread soggy. So I'll put mayo on the bun, put some Parmesan cheese, grated Parmesan cheese on the grill top directly, and then smash the bread into the Parmesan and just let that sit for a little while. And it just forms a nice crust on the outside of the bread. And it's yummy. It tastes good. Listen, man. Listen, I wouldn't steer you wrong. It's good stuff. Try it. It's a nice bite. Especially depending on what type of cheese you do your grilled cheese with. A lot of people do like the classic American. I like a mix of cheddars. We're really going in on grilled cheese right now, but I like it. I like Parmesan on my chicken whole subs. Word. It's my first live stream, but I watch a lot of your videos. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. Excuse me. So I plan to make this live stream the majority of what I do here on YouTube. I don't know if you've noticed, but for basically the last 2 weeks, and it's mostly because I'm so busy at work, all I've been doing on the channel is the What I'm Getting, my weekly pull list video, and then this live stream where we talk about whatever else I want to talk about. So eventually I'm going to have segments. I'm working on what those segments are going to be on this show. So we'll probably do like a weekly comic news segment, a weekly comic reviews segment. So that requires me to like actually get my books on Wednesday and read them before the stream on Thursday. And then I want to do an FOC segment to close out the show every week, where I tell you what books your shop is going to have final order cutoff on, so that you need to place your order by Sunday to make sure you get them for cover price. So that'll be a cool way for me to look at stuff in the previews catalog and say, ooh, watch out for that series that's coming out in October. That'd be really dope. So yeah. Let's see. It's likely to be the last stream I can watch because I have sixth form starting in a few days. What does sixth form mean? Is that school? Manuel, any good Green Lantern stories you can recommend? I am not the biggest Green Lantern fan, and I'm on record saying that. But I read Green Lantern Rebirth by Jeff Johns, and that was pretty cool. It's a good Hal Jordan story, and it's the kickoff of Jeff Johns' epic 3 omnibus run on the Green Lantern title. So I am willing to bet that's the best place to start and the best run to read. Funny enough, I was just reading an article that DC put out detailing the best Green Lantern stories. But yeah, Rebirth. Let's see. If you're into John Stewart, there's a book called Green Lantern Mosaic that I've been getting into. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's harder to find, but if you can find it, it's dope. Jeff Thorne's Green Lantern run, which is pretty much based on Mosaic, just wrapped up. I thought it was good. There are a lot of Green Lantern, like, I don't know if I would call them purists, but there are Green Lantern fans that don't like that run as much. But I think that's because they're mostly Hal Jordan fans, and Jeff Thorne's Green Lantern run did not focus on Hal Jordan really at all. That's about it. That's about all I've got for Green Lantern recommendations. So Jeff Johns is pretty much the beginning and end of that list. And that's what I hear from those that I know are Green Lantern fans. Enterprises says, Green Lantern Rebirth and No Fear were his first Green Lantern stories. Those are both from Jeff Johns. So yeah. Best Batman story in my opinion, man. There's a Batman story like for every day of the week. The best one, I can give you like a top. I could probably give you a top 10. Justice League Tower of Babel. It's a Justice League story, but it's a Batman story. Love that. The Long Halloween. Ego. I love Ego a lot. The Court of Owls. I love that one. I'm looking at my books. Batman R.I.P. is a part of the Grant Morrison run. Really, really good. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at those five. But let's see. Farhan says, can't go wrong with John's Green Lantern. Jeff Lemire's one is good too. Great art by Sorrentino. Gotham by Gaslight was cool. I didn't list Gotham by Gaslight because it's an Elseworld book. Justice League Doom was one of my favorite animated films, and it's an adaptation of Tower of Babel. Yes, Justice League Doom was great, and if I'm not mistaken, Justice League Doom was like one of the last animated projects that Dwayne McDuffie did story editing for at DC. But yes, one of my favorite animated DC films is Justice League Doom. I also love Batman versus Robin and The Son of Batman. I love both of those animated movies. But yeah. Sean says, did you buy the Icon and Rocket hardcover? If yes, can you do a review? Yes and yes. My Icon and Rocket hardcover is way over there. I'm not going to get up, but yes, and I'll do that. White Knight's up there for me, says Tayshawn, as far as newer stuff. Also really like Three Jokers, but I know it's hit or miss for most people. I haven't read White Knight. I bought White Knight because so many people recommended it when I first got into comics. And the White Knight universe is ongoing. They got White Knight. They got Curse of the White Knight. They've got White Knight Presents Harley Quinn. They've got, what's the one that's out right now? Beyond the White Knight. So yeah, Sean Gordon Murphy's just writing a whole universe of Batman stories that everyone says are really good. I just haven't had time to dive into them. But the Curse of the White Knight Deluxe Edition's out later this year. And I'll probably read it all at that point. King D. McKay just found the channel subbed. That's what's up, man. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Farhan says, what's your thought on Batman Earth 1 by Jeff Johns? I haven't read Earth 1. I have Earth 1 Volume 2 in hardcover. Volumes 1 and 3 both cost double what I paid for Volume 1. And then they also have a Earth 1 complete collection that just dropped in trade paperback. And I haven't decided if I want to just buy the trade paperback or go and get the other two hardcovers. And whenever I decide that, then I'll read them. Let's see. What comics have you read that aren't superheroical? Superheroes are my bag. I read mostly superhero comics. Firepower, that doesn't count as superhero. It's more of a kung fu comic. Bitterroot, they're kind of superheroes, not really superheroes. Four Kids Walk Into a Bank by Tyler Boss and Matthew Rosenberg. Definitely not superhero related. Very, very good book. What else have I read? Skyward wasn't a superhero book, and that was really good. Black Cotton. Black Cotton's not a superhero book. It's really good. Yeah, I overwhelmingly buy superhero books. So, yeah. Philadelphia is not a superhero book. It's a vampire book. It's straight. Well, I mean, it was good. I only read the first 6 issues. They were really good. It started to get a little off the rails for me. But I know people still love it. Let's see. What about Black? I have Black. I have not read Black, though. Excellence, though. Speaking of Black, Kari Randolph does a lot of art for Black. On Excellence, which is a series by Brandon Thomas and Kari Randolph, that one is really, really good. It's really, really good. And it's not a superhero book. It's like, yeah, it's not superheroes. But it's really good, though. What's a good Power Rangers book? I tried getting into Power Rangers. There was just too much content for me to get into. I read the Power Rangers, it's not Versus, but it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles / Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was a 5-issue miniseries that Boom Studios put out 2 years ago. And that was really good. I read that. I enjoyed that. But that's all. That's the only Power Rangers book I've read since I got into comics. I'm waiting for them to reprint those hardcovers. I think there's like 6 Power Rangers hardcovers. There's Year 1, Year 2, Shattered Grid, Beyond the Grid, Necessary Evil. Maybe there's just 5, but I think there's a 6th on the way. But yeah. Last book I read was Firestorm's 4 issues. Really good. Word. But yeah, I have not read any Power Rangers books. So yeah. Harleen technically is not a superhero book. It's obviously set in a world where the Batman and the Joker exist. But it was a good Harley Quinn story. I enjoyed that a lot. Harley Quinn by Stepan Sejic. Stepan Sejic? Is that how you say that? My favorite YouTuber besides Skip and Tosh, the BJ Kicks. What's up, man? What's up, Top Gun? Oh, man, it's 9:08. I'm going to get up out of here soon. My wife says Gotham by Gaslight is everything. Gotham by Gaslight, she watched the animated movie, as did I. And she's right, though. It is everything. It's really good. Tim Sharon says, Ayo, Kicks, what's good? How's it going? It's going well. I'm incredibly busy outside of YouTube, and it's kind of limiting what I can do with YouTube. So I try to make the most out of these live streams because I know you guys aren't going to get a ton of me outside of them for the time being. Quick question. Who wins in a fight, Static Shock or Nightwing? So Dick Grayson is super athletic, super acrobatic, and has years of experience fighting alongside Batman, who's fluent in like 18 forms of martial arts. So I would say he certainly has the edge. Static is 14 years old and in most senses is portrayed as still like kind of learning his powers. But what Static does is kind of find new ways. What is it? My bad. My wife is like yelling downstairs. I had to see what was going on. But yeah. So what Static does is he'll kind of sit back in the middle of the fight and be like, this guy's doing this thing. If I could charge up enough, then I can get, I could shock him with this fence or something, right? So give it enough prep time. No, I'm joking. I give Nightwing that edge. I would give Nightwing that edge, but I don't want to just count Virgil out like that. I think Virgil would find a way, but I don't think Virgil would just straight up beat Nightwing. I feel like Virgil would think up a way to stun him enough to get away. That's how I feel like that fight would go. I'll say this for Milestone. It's been great at getting new readers into the comics. I've had so many new readers pick up that Static Season 1 hardcover and loving it. That's dope. I'm glad. I think Vita Ayala and Nick Draper Ivy are doing a great job with Static. I'm very excited for Static Shadows of Dakota coming out. Wow, it's September, so next month. Very excited about that. I think I'm excited for the darker tone and for the return of Ebon. It's really cool. Comic Book Novice says, yo, it's been a while since I've been able to make it to a hangout. Miss y'all. Yo, miss you too, Contra Lad. Grandma's favorite grandson. Have you heard of or read Do a Power Bomb? I'm really into wrestling, so it caught my attention. Haven't checked it out yet. No, I've not read Do a Power Bomb. Everyone that I know who has read it has loved it. So Bunkmaster B, I know, speaks very highly of Do a Power Bomb. Rockin' Robbie Billups also speaks very highly of Do a Power Bomb. And I might check it out. I don't venture too far outside of superheroes super often, but when there are like these stories that are like universally loved, I try to give them a shot. Vita Ayala is too controversial. For as much as I like make videos about comics, I don't dive super deep into controversy or into like the social media frenzy around comics. So to me, Vita Ayala is just a name that's on a lot of books. I haven't read most of the books that she's been on, but I've enjoyed Static Season 1. They. Vita Ayala's pronouns are they, them. So I've not read many books that they have been on. But again, I've enjoyed Static Season 1. The only other book I've read by them was Children of the Atom, and I wasn't a big fan of that. I'm trying to think, was there anything else that Vita Ayala's written that I've read? I think that's it. I honestly think that's it. Like, they don't really cross over into the books that I read a ton, because I don't read New Mutants. They were writing New Mutants. Wonder Woman, I don't read Wonder Woman. Livewire is a book from Valiant that always looked interesting, but I didn't read that. I'm going through their credits now. Yeah, there's just not a ton that they've read or written that I would have read, anyway. They don't do work on a lot of characters that I particularly read. I do want to read this Nubia and the Amazons book, though, because I met Stephanie Williams at a con, and she was just cool. And so I was like, okay, I want to give this book a shot. And I know Vita Ayala is writing that book with her. I'm from Dade, says Do a Power Bomb is dope. I highly recommend. No, Contra Lad, I did not read Banner of War, but I literally have all of the Banner of War right here. I just scanned it into my Marvel app so I can read it all on my iPad. So I'll probably have a Banner of War video out. I won't say next week, probably the week after. I'm also rereading the whole Superman Warworld saga, and I already read Naomi season 2, but that review is coming, as well as a review of Excellence. This channel is about to be all reviews all the time. So that's a preview of what's coming up in the month of September. Let's see. Those are exciting books to read. Some wild stuff happens. Word. Needle Haw's Nightmare blog is a pretty dope series. You should check out. Horror series similar to Philadelphia. If I'm not mistaken, that one was like straight up about demons. So it's like I checked out. I don't read any books that get like too supernatural, and I can't handle like sexual content in books. So I haven't read Saga. I started reading Philadelphia. It kind of veered off because apparently that's like a thing with vampire books. So I kind of had to leave that series. But Nita Hall's Nightmare blog is a continuation, or it's kind of set in the world of Philadelphia. So if you're into the Philadelphia franchise, I'm sure you'll enjoy Nita Hawes. It's just not my cup of tea. Skip loves it though. Skip and Tosh is one of our mods. He loves that book. I'm gonna make sure to check out Do a Power Bomb. Word. I'm waiting for the MCU to announce an X-Men project in hopes for an Uncanny X-Men Volume 1 reprint. I feel like they've reprinted that book like at least 3 times since I've been in comics. But I've been reading them since 2019. I got my Uncanny X-Men Volume 1 in 2020, and it was not easy to get then. This most recent reprint has been, decent enough. Hopefully they reprint it again. Hopefully they do. Because Volume 5 is coming out next year. And I was told they have plans, or I was told, the world was told by Omar, they have plans for Volume 6 and Volume 7. So I would assume they're going to reprint the other ones again at some point. Is Gunslinger Spawn good? Gunslinger Spawn is enjoyable. Good? I think when you start saying like it's something good or bad, you have to compare it to like everything else around it. I think Gunslinger Spawn is good at being a fun Spawn book that's not it doesn't feel redundant. It's entertaining. It's an entertaining book. So yes, it's good. That's the short answer. Yes, it's good. Referring to Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, it's been reprinted quite a few times. I got mine 2017. It'll come around again for sure. Word. Well, look, guys, I didn't bring any water up here with me. I've been talking for like an hour and a half, and my voice is parched, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go get the baby girl ready for bed. Is it high literature? Nah. Is it an entertaining book? Oh, yeah. My thoughts exactly. It's not going to change your life, but it may brighten your day. Like that one, right? But look, I'm going to get up out of here. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Thank you for joining me later than we normally do this. Next week, my wife has a meeting next week. We might not hang out next week. I'll keep you posted because I have to be in that meeting too. So if we do it next week, it'll have to be later on next week as well. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I'll see you guys in another video soon. Until then, be safe. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you saw something you liked on this stream. Give Squeak a hug from all of us. I will. And I'll see you in another one soon. Be safe, guys. And peace. Where's the button?